Hanging out in the chairs in our New York studio, and guess who's at it again? The Indiana Hoosiers. Amazing, running right through Illinois, and now they go to Iowa. Interesting, a road trip for the Hoosiers. How's that offense going to travel, AT?
It better travel well because Iowa is not an easy place to play, and I know we'll talk about the schedule for Indiana coming up, but this is the first of a series of really tough road games. The good news for them is that the Iowa this year is not the typical Iowa that we've seen on either side of the football. Although their pass game did emerge, they've really struggled to run the football, only averaged more than 5 yards a carry against UMass and Albany. And defensively, they gave up over 300 pass yards against Rutgers. A lot of those were big plays. I think 7 passes for 210 of those yards. So there were chunk plays down the field. Indiana is built like that to be able to withstand it. So I think this is going to be a good contest and maybe closer because of who Iowa is, how they're built, and where they're at. But Indiana is going to be favored in this game.
Alas, Iowa has figured out how to navigate the forward pass. Mark Gronowski looked pretty good and comfortable the other night versus Rutgers.
Who is he, Ponce de Leon for Iowa? He's discovered the new land? Or
Macbeth.
What is this oblong object? What are we supposed to do with it? He looked pretty good, and they utilized his legs, which was a new feature of that offense the other night. So Iowa offense is going to do what they do. It's zone stretch. And running backs run through that smoke. You might get clocked, but that's how we play ball. But now featuring Gronowski's legs and his arm, you have to respect that. Indiana, what did you say, mollywop? That's exactly what they did to Illinois, man.
You said that the other day.
He said that the other day, yeah. I still don't know what it means, but it sounds good. They are for real. There's not going to be a sophomore slump here, I don't believe. And as soon as I saw the news of Mendoza coming from Cal going to Indiana, I said, all right, they've upgraded at the quarterback position. No knock on you, guy O'Rourke.
Curtis Rourke.
Just Rourke. Just Rourke.
Just Rourke.
I'm sorry about the O and the apostrophe there, sir. But he is a game changer at that position. And the way they're running the ball and they're controlling both sides of the line of scrimmage, they look marvelous the other night. That was just this is cable, right? That was an ass whipping.
It's actually beyond that.
That's what that was.
It's beyond that, Mr. O. Jones.
I like that.
O. Jones.
Well, my favorite part of that game the other night, though, was the rush defense of Indiana. Everyone talked about, well, Illinois up front, they're going to be there, and they're going to be better. And Brett Bielema, they got two
rushing.
2 yards rushing in that game.
You take 2 steps, you get that.
And Iowa better have a much better passing team because they're not going to run the ball a whole lot against this team.
I was able to watch the Iowa game because it was on Friday night last week and watch the Rutgers-Iowa game. And Rutgers had their way in the throw game.
Yep.
Phil Parker, for whatever reason, this version of Iowa needs to play a bunch of man coverage. They were up there in the Rutgers receivers' grills, and they couldn't stop them. Ethan Kaliak-Manis was throwing slant after slant after
Probably
slant.
looked his best.
He looked fantastic. And Rutgers gave them all they wanted, and obviously, but Iowa did score 38 points to go along with over 40 against UMass, so that they now look like an offense. At least the numbers tell you there's an offense. But this Indiana team is bully ball on both sides. You tried to tell us this before the game last week, and it was exactly that. Illinois came into that game number 9 in the country. They left wondering if they even belong playing the sport.
Yeah.
They got on that thing, and this is a confidence problem right now before that USC game. Brett Bielema has got to build them back up because they didn't just get on that bus going to an airport thinking that we didn't play our best. They thought they got absolutely beaten to a pulp.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem. This is going to be a physical game because Phil Parker will make it a physical game, but right now, you can't imagine that Indiana's going to lose that kind of football.
And by the way, just to be clear, you were discerning between how you normally watch Iowa on TV versus got to be on the sideline for the game. You were taking a good look, or there was a Friday night?
So it was Friday night because
only one game going on.
We're at home getting ready for our game on Saturdays, and I get to watch football. And when I'm a football fan like everybody else, that was incredible that Phil Parker was in man coverage almost every down. Yeah. Almost every down. And because he knew he needed an extra hat. which means they're not quite as formidable.
Okay. I only asked because I thought maybe you drove like right by my house.
No, usually Friday night he's at the club, but this particular Friday night.
What club would
club.
that be?
Should we? You want to hear what the coaches said this week? Kurt Cignetti's also had some fun on the podium in his short time as Indiana head coach as well. Why don't we hear what the coaches had to say heading into this one?
Iowa, it's a tough place to play, Kinnick Stadium. They sell it out almost every Saturday. It's loud. And so we're going to have to play well. This will be a challenge, a more difficult challenge than the last one for sure. And the sooner our guys realize that, the better. But the thing about Iowa in general, they will not beat themselves. You will have to beat them.
Turn our sights to Indiana. Obviously, a really good football team. Certainly worthy of their rankings. I come in 4-0 and playing with a lot of momentum. So, just a really good team. Saw the game Saturday night. You couldn't help but be impressed. Really played well. Had a great year last year. We didn't play them last year, but you watch them on exchange tapes. They kept popping up, and just so impressed with the way they played. Big challenge for us there.
Aaron's showing his age.
Old
That is old. Some G8 have to go to the airport to pick up the tape. Exactly.
And so they didn't face each other last year, so it's new for both as far as what Kurt Cignetti's doing when they see him in person, as well as what Iowa likes to bring to the table. Picks, gentlemen?
I'm going with Indiana, and it's not close, I don't believe. Watching the Rutgers game the other night, I didn't see a consistent pass rush by that Iowa front. You're going to have to put pressure on Mendoza when you get him in those third and long downs, and I don't know if Iowa can provide that type of consistent pressure against the Hoosiers. And this Hoosier defense, if they bring that same smoke they played with the other night, it's not going to be close.
Randy?
Yeah, I don't know about bully ball in this instance because that's kind of always been Iowa's specialty. They want to go toe-to-toe with you. They want you to fight. They want you to be down in the gutter with them, and we're going to go at. But I don't see any way that Indiana loses till later in the year if they lose.
If they lose. Well, you can put up their schedule, too, while Aaron makes his pick here.
Yeah, I like Indiana in this game, but one of the things that Iowa still can do is force turnovers. They had 2 against Rutgers, a forced fumble and a turnover on downs. That gave them a couple extra opportunities. They finally have an offense that they know what to do with the football. But you take a look at this schedule, fellas. Back-to-back games in September and October of at Iowa, at Oregon, and then you go into November. It's at Maryland, which suddenly has become a game, and at Penn State. If Iowa earns their way to the Big Ten championship, they'll have earned it.
If Indiana does, yeah.
Indiana.
Excuse me, Indiana.
Yeah. Listen, this is one of those games where if Phil Parker has to play man-to-man again to stop the run, which is formidable given that Indiana's had 3 straight 300-yard games, all of a sudden it's Cooper and Surratt that are those 2 receivers that are out there. I don't see, and Mendoza throwing the ball the way he has been, I don't see a way they hold up. And that's with all due respect to the great Iowa staff and that great Iowa crowd. Which is a formidable place to play in Kinnick Stadium, but I got to go with the Hoosiers.
Can I say something? I know one game at a time. One game at a time, right? But should Indiana win this one, Oregon goes to Penn State and wins, you are going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Your churches are going to collide.
Churches colliding.
Right.
The theology of that game will be something to behold.
Yes.
Oregon and Indiana.
Yeah.
I just want you to think about that.
I'm thinking about that.
What is that?
Religions always have an answer.
That's how
Yes,
Eli
yes,
Wally
they
did
do.
it.
They call them
Good, the bad, and ugly.
crusades.
Oh, man. We'll say goodbye.
That got dark.
That escalated quickly.
Dark ages.